Roland Barthes' theoretical development is often seen as embodying a transition from structuralist to post-structuralist perspectives. His major works include Writing Degree Zero, published in 1953, Mythologies, published in 1957, the essay Introduction to the Structural Analysis of Narrative, published in 1966, and the very famous essay The Death of the Author, published in 1968. In his work Mythologies, Barthes undertook an ideological critique of various products of mass bourgeois culture, attempting to account for mystification of culture or history into a universal nature. Such mystification, he argued, is explained by the notion of myth. Myth is not an object, a concept, or an idea, but a language, a type of speech. It is a mode of signification. The structure of myth repeats the tridimensional, that is, Saussurean sign, signified, and signifier pattern. Myth can be understood as a second order semiological system. It establishes a world without depth, a world of blissful clarity where things appear to mean something by themselves, a world where the meaning of things lies no deeper than their isolated existence. Myth is his equation of the process of myth making with the process of bourgeois ideology. The bourgeois is defined as the class which does not want to be named. In his work Introduction to Structuralist Analysis of Narratives, Barthes discusses the problem of the subject, insisting on viewing an author or persona as a grammatical function rather than a psychological subject. In the now famous essay The Death of the Author, Barthes' argument is that as soon as narration occurs without the practical purpose of acting on reality, or as soon as narrative occurs as an end in itself, a disconnection occurs. The voice loses its origin. The author enters into his own death and writing begins. The modern individual author was a product of our society insofar as emerging from the Middle Ages with English empiricism, French rationalism, and the faith persona of the Reformation. It discovered the prestige of the individual. Writers such as Malam, Valery, and Proust have challenged the centrality of the author. The author is never more than the instance of writing. Language knows a subject, not a person, and this subject is empty outside of the very communication which defines it. The author was conceived as the past of his own book, the pre existing cause and explanation. The modern scripture is born simultaneously with the text. There is no other time than that of the Annunciation, and every text is externally written here and now. Therefore, we can no longer think of writing in the classical ways as recording, representing, or depicting. Rather, it is performative act. A text can no longer be viewed as releasing in a linear fashion, a single theological meaning as the message of the author God. It is a multidimensional space in which a variety of writings, none of them original, blend and clash. The text is the tissue of quotations drawn from the innumerable centers of culture. A text's unity lies not in its origin but in its destination in the reader. The reader is a reader without history, biography, psychology. He is someone that holds together in a single field all the traces by which the written text is constituted. The birth of the reader must be at the cost of the death of the author. In his essay From Work to Text, Barthes observes that the object of linguistic and literary studies has changed. It is no longer the stable, fixed object enclosed within one discipline, but an object that is fluid, has many levels of meaning, and ranges across disciplinary boundaries. A work offers up to analysis a closed, signified, or definite meaning. A text can never allow investigation to halt at some signified, some concept which represents the ultimate meaning of a work. Like language, the text is structured but off centered without closure. Text is held in intertextuality in a network of signifiers. The work is consumed more or less passively. The text makes the process of reading active, productive, and constitutive. It asks of the reader a practical collaboration in the production of the work. The text invites participation in its own play, its subversion of hierarchies, and its endless deferment of the definite.